Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and in this video we're going to be showing you how you can use the controller as syntax defined in your state provider in your route. So that way we don't actually have to have that wrapping div we threw on there last time to simply have the ng controller. We can actually define the controller and controller as within the routing itself. So let's get started on that right now. So in the last video, we put our new templates into some additional files here. And if you noticed, one of the things was kind of clunky. We had to throw this wrapper around here that essentially said ng controller. I mean, we didn't necessarily have to have this bit of HTML here. So how can we go about getting rid of this HTML? Well, you can actually define your controller and your controller as within UI router. Now what we could do here is we can come to our directory.js. Now on the state provider here, where we have our URL, we have our template URL, well, we can add a comma to this object and add another property, which is controller. Now you can add your controller simply as the controller's name here, or we can add using the controller as syntax like we did here. So we can actually say directory controller as dir list. So let's go ahead and let's get rid of this whole div even, just so we don't have to worry about it anymore being here. And in our directory.js, we can say directory controller as dir list. So now it's going to know on this route, this is the controller that we're using, and we're going to be using it as dir list. So now we should be able to head to our app, and we should be able to see everything working as expected, just the way it was working before. However, in our HTML, we're never actually saying what the controller is. So this is sort of a new step and something that we haven't done since we started learning Angular, where we've always been defining the controller in the HTML template itself. We're now defining the controller in the state provider here. Cool. So what's something else that we can do to actually make this a little bit better here? We can start putting our files into some folders. Now, it's a good idea to arrange your project in a way that makes sense to you. However, a way that is used commonly throughout the Angular community is to put your features in their own folder. So now what we can do here is I can make a new folder, and this can just be maybe static pages, because maybe this is going to be our home page and the about page. So we could contain any of our static page content in here. So we could just say static. We could throw in the home, and we could throw in the about page. Now, even though the home page doesn't necessarily have totally static content on it right now, I guess the idea would be that a home page would have static content. So now what we can do in this is in the template URL, we can just simply change this to static /home, like so. We can come in here and do the same thing with the about.html. Now you'll notice everything should be working just as we had before. So we now have thrown some of these additional templates into another folder, sort of getting them out of the way. And we are now having our controller as syntax directly in the state provider. So that's really great. In the next video, we're going to show you how you can work with layouts in this type of routing scenario. So we can reuse templates and layouts and do nesting and stuff like that. That way we can build some sort of a partial and navigation system like you might be used to in other systems. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the video or hit us up at Twitter or Facebook at Level Up Tutorials. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.